The land of Israel, also known as the Holy Land or Palestine, is the birthplace of the Jewish people, the place where the final form of the Hebrew Bible is thought to have been compiled, and the birthplace of Judaism and Christianity. It contains sites sacred to Judaism, Samaritanism, Christianity, Islam, Druze and the Bahá'í Faith. The region has come under the sway of various empires and, as a result, has hosted a wide variety of ethnicities. However, the land was predominantly Jewish. The adoption of Christianity by the Roman Empire in the 4th century led to a Greco-Roman Christian majority which lasted not just until the 7th century when the area was conquered by the Arab Muslim empires, but for another full 6 centuries. It gradually became predominantly Muslim after the end of the Crusader period, during which it was the focal point of conflict between Christianity and Islam. From the 13th century it was mainly Muslim with Arabic as the dominant language and was first part of the Syrian province of the Mamluk Sultanate and after 1516 part of the Ottoman Empire until the British conquest in 1917-18. A Jewish national movement, Zionism, emerged in the late 19th century, as part of which Aliyah increased. During World War I, the British government publicly committed to create a Jewish national home and was granted a mandate to rule Palestine by the League of Nations for this purpose. A rival Arab nationalism also claimed rights over the former Ottoman territories and sought to prevent Jewish migration into Palestine, leading to growing Arab-Jewish tensions. Israeli independence in 1948 was accompanied by an exodus of Arabs from Israel. The Arab-Israeli conflict and a subsequent Jewish exodus from Arab and Muslim countries to Israel. About 43% of the world's Jews live in Israel today, the largest Jewish community in the world. In 1979, an uneasy Egypt-Israel peace treaty was signed, based on the Camp David Accords. In 1993, Israel signed Oslo I Accord with the Palestine Liberation Organization, followed by establishment of the Palestinian National Authority, and in 1994 Israel-Jordan peace treaty was signed. Despite efforts to finalize the peace agreement, the conflict continues to play a major role in Israeli and international political, social and economic life. In its early decades, the economy of Israel was largely state-controlled and shaped by social democratic ideas. In the 1970s and 1980s, the economy underwent a series of free market reforms and was gradually liberalized. In the past 3 decades, the economy has grown considerably, but GDP per capita has increased faster than the increase in wages. The periodization is subject to the progress of research, to regional, national, and ideological interpretation, as well as personal preference of the individual researcher. For an overview of a mainstream periodization system for the wider region, see List of archaeological periods. Periodization organized by the seat of the controlling state is shown below. Between 2.6 and 0.9 million years ago, at least 4 episodes of hominin dispersal from Africa to the Levant are known, each culturally distinct. The oldest evidence of early humans in the territory of modern Israel, dating to 1.5 million years ago, was found in Ubadia near the Sea of Galilee. The Flint tool artifacts have been discovered at Iran, the oldest stone tools found anywhere outside Africa. Other groups include 1.4 million years old Acheulean industry, the Bizet Rahama group and Gesher B'nat Yaakov. In the Carmel mountain range at El Tabun, an S-school, Neanderthal and early modern human remains were found, including the skeleton of a Neanderthal female, named Tabun I, which is regarded as one of the most important human fossils ever found. The excavation at El Tabun produced the longest stratigraphic record in the region, spanning 600,000 or more years of human activity, from the lower Paleolithic to the present day, representing roughly 1 million years of human evolution. Other notable Paleolithic sites include caves Kesem and Manat. The oldest fossils of anatomically modern humans found outside Africa are the School and Kafza hominids, who lived in northern Israel 120,000 years ago, around 10th millennium BCE. The Natufian culture existed in the area during the 2nd millennium BCE. Canaan, part of which later became known as Israel, was dominated by the New Kingdom of Egypt from c. 1550 to c. 1180. The earliest recorded battle in history took place in 1457 BCE at Megiddo, between Canaanite forces and those of Pharaoh Thutmose III. The Canaanites left no written history, but Thutmose's scribe, Geneni, recorded the battle. The first record of the name Israel occurs in the Merneptah stele, erected for Egyptian pharaoh Merneptah c. 1209 BCE. Israel is laid waste and his seed is not. William G. Dever sees this Israel in the Central Highlands as a cultural and probably political entity, more an ethnic group rather than an org.